Master.
Hi everyone, Master here. With the upcoming 3.18 patch and the Star Citizen Live video, there's been a lot of discussions of persistent entity streaming, or PES, but the concept is sometimes hard to understand. I'm a visual guy, so I've made an animated description of PES to help explain it and how it'll be used. So first, let me explain how the existing system works. Right now, we have many separate servers. Each has its own version of the verse, including all players, ships, gear, AI, and any stuff lying around. If your ship explodes, then it just disappears. If you leave that server or the server shuts down, either because there's no players in it, or it had a major error or 30k, then any item not in your inventory or in one of the location inventories on that server is lost. The temporary 30k fix will try to store the last 10 minutes of your ship status, and some gear, but that's it. If you left a coffee cup on the ground in that server, then it's gone. If you left your ship somewhere, then it's gone, and you'll have to reclaim it. With PES and 3.18, each of those servers will now store everything in them in a database with separate listings for each server. If you leave your ship somewhere, or drop gear or loot, then it stays on that server. If you buy cargo, then the boxes will be individually listed on that server, so you can pick them up or drop them off. If you leave and rejoin the server, the items you left on the ground will still be there. If the server is shut down for any reason, then it can be spun back up with exactly the same items it had. One thing that's interesting is if you store your ships or stow things on the ships or in any of the official inventory locations, then it will stay with your character, not the server. Changing servers will bring the stored and stowed items with you to the new server, including your ships. This won't cover items you left lying around though. The important thing is if your ship explodes, then the ship remains will stay on that server so that anyone can go salvage it. Same for your body. If you die, your dead body will stay on the server so people can loot it. Dropping items in the server will stay on that server. There is a limit how much stuff will be allowed to be in one place, and over that limit, the oldest items will start to disappear. We'll have to find out what that limit is when 3.18 comes out. The only trouble is, in 3.18, if you leave the server, you'll only have 10 minutes to go back to the same server. Otherwise, you'll enter a random server where your stuff may not be. Future patches will eventually allow you to enter a particular server, and it may not be necessary anyway with server meshing, as I'll explain later. Now, how is this useful? For a few reasons. 1. Salvage gameplay will require destroyed ships to remain on the server for people to chop up. Previously, all ships would just disappear when destroyed, which wouldn't be very useful. Plus, salvaged hull material is stored in individual boxes. Second, the cargo refactor means every box or item has to be accounted for, even if you aren't near the cargo. For example, currently, objects disappear if you're not within 30 kilometers to them. That would be pointless for cargo if that's the case. Both buying, selling, theft, or piracy will require objects to persist, especially now that you have to physically carry or transport each box. So the system has to keep track of each item and store that information. Finally, persistence will be needed for server meshing. Server meshing will actually have servers just cover a part of the verse, instead of each server holding the whole verse as it currently does. For example, with server meshing, one server might hold just ArcCorp, or just a space around a space station. The servers will then talk to each other when objects pass from one point of space to another, and this requires all objects to be saved to a database to track them. It would be pointless if the servers didn't keep track of the objects, because then movement between servers would lose all your stuff. This becomes doubly important when dynamic server meshing comes out, as servers will shut down or spin up depending on how many players are in the area. As a server may expand to cover more area, or reduce it, it will need to know that from the database, and talk to it, what objects are in that area, etc. PES with the database will allow that. Spinning up and down servers, especially dynamically, will allow the verse to be populated with thousands of AI, players, ships, loot, cargo, and gear, without causing performance problems like a regular single fixed server would have. So you see, PES in 3.18 will be just a stepping stone to advancing the giant technology needed for a real galactic-sized first-person MMO. I'm happy that at least this step is finally here, but CIG has a long way to go to finish what's needed. Alright, so that's it for persistent entity streaming. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please like and subscribe if you like my videos. Don't forget to use my referral code if you decide to jump into Star Citizen, and you'll get 5,000 in-game credits. Here's a big thank you to my current patrons. I have a Patreon going for $3 a month. All patrons will have their names listed at the end of my videos, and I'll make some exclusive videos for members as well. Okay, catch you all next time.